Jake Paul, guys, did this work? Did this work? Now, this is interesting what Jake has done, and I have considered this many times in my own career, and I've even sat back and observed it many times. Okay, let's back up. So, Jake and Floyd and some of his scumbag buddies decide to confront Jake outside of a Miami Heat game, right? Now, we're not off to a good start. Only a nerd would go to a Miami Heat game. But here we are. And Floyd's scumbag crew made it as though they were going to jump Jake. Jake didn't know what to do, and he turned and ran. The single greatest self-defense you could ever be taught is to turn and run. Jake invoked it, gets caught on camera. Now, some people had a problem with that. Some people like me had a problem with Floyd and his scumbag buddies attempting to walk up on a guy who's by himself. Other people had a problem with the fact that Jake turned and ran instead of facing this crowd head on. Great. Jake came out and said it was a publicity stunt. We're working together and we pulled a stunt. And I have thought about doing that. There was an argument that Dana could use that defense. That, hey, I got a new show coming out. This is what it's called. We had this filmed. We released it. It was all marketing. Do you guys remember Kramer? This defense existed for 2 full days with Kramer. Kramer gets on stage. He starts using terrible language. I mean, they're going to cancel him and effectively do. People thought it was a joke. People thought it was a joke to the fact that 48 hours later, Kramer, Michael Richards is his name, appears via satellite on the David Letterman show. Letterman thought it was a joke. He was having Richards on to explain the joke. Right? The comedian can say anything he wants. The comedian has fair game. Therefore, this was not inappropriate. It was humor. Kramer came clean and said, no, it wasn't. So I'm just sharing for you. Like, I have seen this over time where somebody could take something that absolutely happened but claim that it was marketing. Now, this is where it gets interesting, though. Okay? If you're going to spin that, if you're going to turn it to this was us in on it together, so whatever heat I'm getting for turning and running away, to whatever group of society that doesn't think I should do it, it's a bunch of dum-dums. But if I am going to appease to the dum-dums so that they can no longer tease me for turning and running, all I have to do is reveal the gag. Now, is that better? Are you in a better spot? Whatever dum-dums that at no point in their life have ever toed the line, have ever stepped up and stood their ground, but they think if I was in that spot, I would have done it. Whatever small group of them keep leaning on Jake, and I would imagine it's just through social media, whatever group that is that he wants to silence, is it worth it? Because now you're busted, right? Now, of course, this was not a stunt. Of course, that's reworking. Of course, that's to shove it in Floyd's face to make him look bad. We understand that. But if you're going to go out and you're going to do a ruse, then this is now the ruse, right? Are you better off? Because next time that you want to pull one over on the public, the next time you want to get a viral video, the next time you want to get a message out, the next time you're doing something clever, not to mention this is a guy who does unique and clever marketing all the time. You remember when Dylan Dennis was doing an outdoor interview with Brendan Schaub and Jake pulls up in the bed of a truck and he's got water balloons. I mean, Dylan had no idea that was going to happen. Jake did. He brought the camera, he brought the balloons, he had the time to just share with you, but that was a really good piece of marketing. If those two would have boxed, if that would have turned into something, that would have been wildly effective. So this is something that Jake likes to do, and the next time that he goes and does it, we're all going to have to wonder, was it a gag? Now, the water balloons wasn't a gag. Sitting ringside to Tommy Fury and heckling him like Tommy's in the ring boxing was not a gag. Realizing I'm outnumbered here by Floyd and his little hoodlum buddies and turning and getting out of there was not a gag. But now that you said it is, was that squeeze worth the juice? If the only thing that you're going to achieve there, now, aside from impressing Chael, this does impress me, and I have wondered why other people haven't done it. I have wondered a number of times when something went south, why nobody's done this. I like that Jake finally had the courage and finally had the balls. I do like that side of it. But aside from that, you're going to silence the few wimps that are acting as though that's not what they would have done. Their superhero would have done. You're doing that, but in exchange, you're giving up the leverage that you have in the future. Is it worth it? It's unique. It's clever. Put Floyd in a tough spot, right? It puts Floyd in a wildly difficult spot. Because of course this was real. Of course this was authentic. We don't have to wonder that. We saw it on video, right? Of course it was. But, now that Jake says it's not, it puts Floyd in a very tough position. Floyd's going to come out and say it was. Floyd's going to say this was very real. My crew can't be controlled. My crew can't be trusted. I'm not the leader of the pack. That's why this guy went off script and stepped across the line to Jake while this other guy's over here filming it. I'm not actually in charge of the money team. I mean, you see the problem? Or Floyd can do absolutely nothing. If Floyd really wanted to stick it to Jake, right? Jake's feeling good about this. He came out, he killed a vibe for Floyd. You got the weirdos saying that Jake shouldn't run, but you got the other weirdos saying, Floyd stepped right to the plate. He didn't care about size. Whatever dumb. I mean, this is dummies, right? This is a basketball game. It's already a group of nerds that I can't fully relate to. But if Floyd really wants to stick it to him, he backs him. He backs him, says, yes, the whole thing was staged. We planned it. He begged me. He told me his career's not where it wanted to be. He knew I was the highest paid and the biggest draw. He told me, hey, you still owe my brother money. I've been able to keep that quiet, keep you out of courts on that, but you're going to need to do me a solid. I'll get it over to TMZ. We'll get it done. That's how Floyd sticks it back to Jake. Now that Jake has made this is what Floyd does to stick it back to him. He comes in and he backs him. He backs him. He says the whole thing was planned and he begged me to do it.